Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise.
I'm taking you guys home with me.
So, Miss Yama, how do you pronounce your last name?
Paillere.
Paillere.
Pie in air.
Like pie in air.
Yeah, just like the pie in the air.
I'll make sure that
We're gonna get pictures and videos from.
yes. Go ahead.
Should I get somebody my camera or no? My
Feel
phone?
free. We have one here, but if you want yours as well to capture,
Oh no, you'll just send it to me.
that would be great. Let me see if I can get better light. There we go. I have some water for you as well.
Thank you.
Because I'm gonna post it on on YouTube, but on the class as well. So,
Okay.
Paillere.
Pie in air,
All right.
not the way it's spelled.
Welcome to FIU's the Honors College,
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
the course is making moves in Miami. So tell our students here a little bit about yourself and how did you make the move from Barry, I think that's where you went to school, to University of Miami, to being the Deputy Director of
Office of Protocol under the Board of County Commissioners.
Yeah, tell us all that. if you
Okay, hi. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you anything that you can find on my LinkedIn or you can see in my bio. So I really want you guys to take this opportunity to direct what information you really want me to tell you. Not so much what I want to tell you, because everything I want to tell you is online. So you can see that for yourself. Thank you for having me. I am very honored to be here. I want to say, even though my favorite school, because that's my alma mater. But can I tell you, you guys have the best, homegrown, raised properly students on this campus.
Round of applause for that. Let's go.
I'm gonna tell you, I got out of my car and I needed to find a restroom. The young man walked me to the restroom. He's like, and then I left the restroom and I said, I need to get to the Graham Center. The young man walked me over to the library and told me where the shortcut is. This was a two totally different students. So I'm like, wow, I'm very impressed. So I am in good company. So Paillere, first of all, is my maiden name. It is not my married name. I am married. I've been married for 29 years.
Round of applause for that.
If you're gonna do it, know that it's a lot of work. We get caught up in the dresses and the party, but it's a lot of work, but well worth it if you find that partner. Like I was very fortunate to find my partner, very young, and I was, we were able to make a life, and we have 3 boys. I'm just some things about me. I am an introvert acting like an extrovert at all times. I really am keep to myself. I have a very small circle, always have, even as a child. But that doesn't work when you're trying to get some things done. So I take on the persona of an extrovert. Some beliefs that I have are time. Time is the one thing you can't redeem. You lose it. You use it or you lose it. So use your time very wisely. You're never gonna get this morning back again. You're never gonna get this day back again. You're never gonna get this moment back again. It doesn't come, it's not like that. So please use your time wisely. In honor of Women's History Month.
Right, round of applause for Women's History Month.
Absolutely. Everybody should be applauding for that. I'm gonna tell you about asking. I'm speaking more to the girls because I find I have 3 boys. So I'm a boy mom. But I find that boys do this naturally, and the girls do not. And it was something that I struggled with. Ask for what you want.
Say that again, really loud.
Ask. I asked the professor to come to this classroom. He didn't see me somewhere or think, this would be a great person to have in the class. I asked. I saw the...
Because that's why I said I don't remember us meeting, or where did we meet? I'm like, I don't remember.
He did not. So, I saw it online, and I said, hey, I would love to speak to this group of young people. I love speaking to young people. I always say, my heart is in education, but my head is in management.
I'll pause for a second. See how important your LinkedIn is? Because I don't remember, I meet a lot of people, and so
Very, very, very
like, wait a
important.
minute, okay.
And
but she asked, though.
So you ask. When you are, and I'm gonna take off my jacket for a minute because I am a woman of a certain age, so hot flashes are real for me. and so as freezing as you may think this classroom is, it's not for me. My body's overheating right now. So what I would say is ask, right? Because when you are a girl, they treat you differently because you're gender, and you're raised differently to be polite. You know, don't be too showy because the other girls won't like that. You won't make friends. That's not true. You will make friends, but you'll make the right friends. Ask because if you are a good student and you make good grades, and that's always been something that you do, a lot of times you get noticed in the classroom because of that, but the thinking is that, oh, if I work hard, people will notice. That is not true in the real world. Everybody's working hard. Those who ask are the ones who get the positions. Because you'll notice, they'll be like, how did that person get promoted? I'm doing the same thing as they asked. So ask. And I think whenever, the last thing about me, whenever you have an opportunity to be kind, choose kindness. Every time. You won't, I know we live in a world where we think leadership is about quipping with one another, being able to put you down really quick, put you in your place. That's not true leadership, that's cowardice. Leaders have to have people follow them, not people who all think like them, not all people who grew up like them, not all people who look like them, not the same gender as them, not all people who have the same beliefs as them. And if you think fear is gonna keep somebody in their place, it will, but for a very limited time. And they will realize, I don't have anything to fear. So they're gonna stop following you. So whenever you have the opportunity, choose kindness. You never know what's going on in somebody's life. Sometimes you look at somebody and you're like, oh, they look like they're put together. They have this and they have that, and their life must be great. And their life is chaotic and tragedies happening. So anytime I can, I choose kindness. Smile at people. You never know how far that goes. I'm not even sure I'm answering the question.
It's okay. So when making moves in Miami, right, the title of our course is how do you do that? So you said it, right? You ask. You know, we connected via LinkedIn because that was the first assignment we had for this class. I pushed it back to the very end because you got to build it. It takes a while.
Yes.
And then you also said about kindness. You know, whenever there's an opportunity to do kindness, express that.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of that too, because a lot of times people think kindness is a form of weakness, but it takes a lot of strength to be kind to douchebags.
Yes.
It takes a lot of strength to be kind to douchebags. You got to be nice first and kind to yourself always.
Yes.
You know, and step into the room like you own it, because you do. That's your time and space. You talked about that, right? Time.
Yeah.
That's your time. That's your energy. So for you, Yama, tell us about when you asked for something and the response was no. How did you overcome that and grow from that?
So, right when I turned 30, I became a director of what they would consider here a community-based organization. This was in New York. And then quickly, I loved the role. There we had, in New York we have boroughs, not counties, so we had the 5 boroughs. So we had an office in Brooklyn, Manhattan, and Bronx. So I became the director for the Brooklyn office first, and then they saw that I had a passion for this. I worked really hard, so they asked me at that point, hey, would you mind being the Bronx director as well? So I did Brooklyn and Bronx. And right when they asked me that, I made up in my mind, I'm gonna go for Manhattan too. I wanna be the tri-borough director of all three.
Take it off. Let's go.
But I got pregnant.
Oh.
I got pregnant within that time frame. Within 3 years, I did get pregnant with my first son, and then I made a different decision. And this is when I tell you, no matter what, I don't know if you guys are here because your parents told you must get this education and this piece of paper, and it might seem like, oh, I don't even want to be here. I'm going to tell you that's the one thing people can never take away from you. And I've leaned on my education, those pieces of paper, so much. And I was able to make a different decision for myself because I had the education at that point. But I had gone through my undergrad at UM, and then I'd gone to my graduate school at Barry. And at that point, I decided I really want to really hone in on my mothering and my nurturing. I had never had this feeling. I was always the cousin or the sister who was probably not going to get married, who was not going to have kids, and I got married, and I had not 1 but 3 kids. So this was not ever something that I felt. I felt it, and I decided I want to schedule this director position is great, but this is not a great schedule if you're trying to raise children in an intentional manner and be part of their lives, meaning be the room mom and going on the field trips and doing all that other stuff that I thought was important. So I went back we moved back to Miami at that point. This was happening in New York, then we moved back to Miami. I was able to consult and work part-time-ish for about 2 years until my son was ready to go into preschool. Then my husband reminded me that we are a 2-income family, and that's the way this works. So it's time for me to go back into the workforce. And I decided, I'm going into the school system because when my son is off, I'll be off. I'll have my summers off. So I went into the school system. I became a counselor. So I went from a director to a counselor. In a grade school that I opened, Young Women's Preparatory Academy. It is an all-girl public school in Miami. Shout out to
you opened it?
Yes. And I wasn't the only one. There was a plethora of people there. But when the school opened, I was there for 15 years. I had planned to be there for 5.
But you loved it.
I did, but this is where the no came. They kept telling me no. I knew after about maybe year 7, I said, okay, I want to become assistant principal because I still want my summers off. Because now by now I have 2 kids, right? So I still want my summers off. And so I was like, perfect. An AP, I can make more money. It's going in the direction that I want, and I still get my summers off. I went back to school, got my educational leadership. I did all the things. I went on interviews. No cigar. And no cigar for 7 years. I kept going. I kept getting no's. No. They would not. I couldn't get hired anywhere. I was stuck right there. And so what I did was, after I got my frustration out, I believe in God. So I became very still. And I said, when you are ready, I will go. In the meantime, please don't make me hate this place. Please make me continue to do good work. And I found projects. I would create projects out of thin blue air. I wanted a mentoring project. Everybody, let's do a mentoring project. If we wanted to do #1 in the United Way, let's do that. If we wanted to do a girls symposium, let's do that. I became so involved, and I found projects to keep myself busy, all the while continuing to hone my skills just in project management, in communication, in leadership. And then 2020 hit, and I was given the opportunity to leave the school system. As I wanted to be the chief of staff in a municipality to a city manager. She looked at my resume and she said, nah, I have somebody who looks better on paper than you for the position, but I do need a senior executive assistant. And I'm like, what? But I was like, you know what? It was a raise, a huge raise from the school system. Our teachers make no money. Teachers make no money. So it was a raise, and I said, it's a whole municipality. I get to work directly with the top boss in the entire city. I'm going to show her what I'm made of, and I'll become a director in one of the offices there. That was my plan. So I took the job. A year later, I'm chief of staff, because the chief of staff would look better on paper. And if I looked at her resume and my resume on paper, she did look better on paper. That's just the realities. But she had a different trajectory, and she had another offer outside of the state, which she took. But I had already worked with the top person in the municipality for a year, and she saw what I could do. And she was like, would you like to be my chief of staff? And I said, hell yeah, I want to be your chief of staff. And that's how where I wanted to be professionally. And by then, I'm gonna tell you, I was 50. So much time had passed. And my boss was younger than me. All my bosses right now are younger than me. And so I waited for a long time until the opportunities came, but I didn't give up. I kept going, kept living my life, kept doing what I wanted to do, kept finding ways to like improve myself, to make sure that I still felt the joy that I wanted to bring. And that's how, 5 years later, I'm now the deputy director and the Office of Protocol under the Board of County Commissioners.
Right? So we talked about the importance of asking, the importance of kindness. You said finding joy in the space of those troubling times, and the importance of also being still, right? Mindfulness.
Yes.
Those of us who practice yoga, the idea of mindfulness is so important, right? If you're a person of faith and you believe in a higher power, we ask God, but the way to listen is to be mindful and close your mouth and being still, right? And close your mouth, but open your mind, right? And then you also talked about, even in the midst of getting all those no's, you decided to you became an entrepreneur, right? You created projects of community. Yeah. Because you know what? I need to do something. Let me do something of value. Let me contribute in the way that I can. And then that allowed you to go into a different direction. Yet, the position was less than what you wanted. But you said, you know what? Let me fall back. This is the opportunity.
You gotta get your ego out of it. You will get what you want, but your ego will not guide you well. Your ego will not guide you well.
Say that again. You will get what you want,
but your ego won't guide you well. Yeah. It's like you gotta see the vision for yourself, and you know that a pathway will be created for you.
Question. So in the city, so this is for the whole county of Miami-Dade.
Now I'm with the county. As chief of staff, it was with a municipality. We have 34 municipalities in Miami-Dade County. I work in one.
And so what does the commissioners do, or what is your role as it pertains and connects to the community?
I would say, so my particular office falls under the falls under the chairman of the Board of County Commissioners. The chair changes every 2 years. So we have a new chairman now. So it the office morphs into whatever that chairperson would like it to be, right? Because he has 8 offices. It happens to be, he could be a woman as well, under his purview. So right now, a lot of my interaction is during the Board of County Commissioners and with people.
Is it Keone or is it?
Oh, for Vice Chairman Keone L. McGee, and our chairman is Anthony Rodriguez.
So today we're going to talk about bootstrapping and funding your business. What role can the city commissioner play in helping small businesses who want to get
great question. Listen, not only the commissioners, but the mayor, they have an initiative for grants, specifically for small businesses. You should know, look, if you go onto Miami-Dade.gov and look under your government, and it's gonna come up and put in your address, and it's gonna tell you who your commissioner is. You should go to your commissioner's office and say, hi, I'm a constituent, And this is what I'm interested in. Do you have any grants available? Because they'll know about the county grants. A lot of the commission offices hold small business grants specifically for their districts. So do get to know your government. I was at a meeting the other day, and then there was a young lady who talked about, you know, how we're trying to get free space. So if it's the government, you can get free space because our tax dollars pays for it. And then she was like, no, we should not use the government spaces because people are intimidated. And I'm like, no. The people are the government. We should not be intimidated. Those commission meetings are for you to go voice your concern as a constituent in Miami-Dade County. You should get to know your local commissioner. You should write your governor letters. You should write your representatives letters. Civic engagement is very important. That's how things change.
Definitely. So now you went from asking again, kindness, speak still. Your faith is important to you. What words of advice do you have for, I think most of us are sophomores and juniors, right? Mm-hmm. What advice would you have for sophomores and juniors in college? What would you say to yourself when you were a sophomore and junior in college?
I'm gonna tell you what I told my son, who's at UF right now, my oldest son. I gave him, his junior year, or maybe his junior year ending senior year, I gave him a book called The Four Agreements. It's like this long.
Book,
yeah. It takes about 20 minutes to read. And it's by Don Miguel Ruiz. And it's called The Four Agreements. And I said, you need to start conducting yourself and start thinking about who you are and how that relates to the world in which you are in. And this book with the four agreements, if you can make these four agreements with yourself, will give you a foundation. And so the first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. Your words and your actions should match. Don't yes people. When you know they want you to go right, you know you're not going right, you're going left. And then you're just yesing them. Don't do that. Make your word impeccable. Character still matters in this world. Being dependable still matters. So that's the first agreement. The second agreement is don't make any assumptions. Always ask yourself the question, could something else be true? Because we make a lot of assumptions. Like I can look out here and I can choose to focus on the student who's like not here, not present. But that has nothing to do with me. When we start thinking like, oh, maybe I'm not being interesting enough, maybe I'm boring, maybe they had a bad morning. Has nothing to do with me. I wasn't there this morning when they got out of bed. Do not make any assumptions. The third agreement is be your best. Excellence matters in this world. Don't half-ass things. Research what you're about to do. Learn about the person. If you're going to for an interview, learn about the company you're going to interview with. Ask intelligent questions. Even if you don't get the job, that person is going to remember you, and it might be for something else. And last but not least, don't take anything personally. That goes right back to, if I have never met you, I'm walking down the street and I'm smiling at you, and you frown at me, that has nothing to do with me. It's like, so if you can start with those four agreements as foundations for your character and who you want to be and how you want to act in this world, I think those are important.
Awesome. And with that, please give a round of applause. Well, before we go to Q&A, we have something to present to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I have here the certificate of appreciation.
Oh.
This certificate is proudly awarded to you. We take great pleasure in presenting this certificate of appreciation to you for making moves in Miami, Florida International University Honors College guest speaker.
Nice.
Yama, in recognition of your valuable contribution to our community during the 5th day of March 2025.
Thank you so much. I love this. Thank you. I am going to hang this in my office. So if you ever come to the Stephen P. Clark Center, I am on the 2nd floor, and you will see this in my office. Thank you. This means a lot.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yes.
Multiple times, like in your story, when you were talking about where you want to go, and like when you were in the school system, or even when you wanted to be tribe bureau director, what is like your process in? Because you said like where I wanted to be. What is your process in deciding where you want to be, what you want to do next, how you want to do that? Is that faith-based? Is there another process that you know that you do? Or?
It's a combination of like I said, my faith is really important to me. So I do ask God to order my steps and place me where I'm supposed to be, and give me the awareness if I'm not in that space, for me to know that, like, I want to know it immediately. Like, don't make me spend 5 years. None. It's like, so I do ask for that kind of guidance, but also I made sure I like to be around people who are doing things that maybe I won't do but are interesting and that hold the same value. Like, helping people has always been, my master's is in social work. It's not in public administration, like many of my colleagues. I always had this, like, I want to help others. I want to uplift other people. And so I know, like, policy is a good way to do that. So that's why I've always, like, found joy in that. So I've always kept that, like, because you got to get up in the morning, and your paycheck will not get you up in the morning.
No, that doesn't.
It's like you have to really like what you're doing, and find value in it for yourself, and the balance. So I'm in a position where, like, I have a lot of balance now, where I can be with my family, travel or not, and still feel like I'm making a difference in my community. And join organizations. Super important. If you guys are not involved in organizations on campus, pick something that's of interest to you that will never fail you. Even as an adult, I am a member of the Commission for Women. I'm a mom through the Jack and Jill program, Miami chapter. Join organizations that are aligned with things that you want to do, and that will also bring you opportunities. You're welcome.
I volunteer. I don't have time to volunteer, but I still make time to volunteer.
Yes.
But that helps with, you
Yeah,
never know.
most of your organizations, I volunteered this week because it's Read Across America, if you guys didn't know. Dr. Seuss's birthday this week. And through one of my organizations, I went to, like, a daycare and, like, a preschool, and I read to the kids this week. So you will find volunteering, like, naturally in most organizations of worth.
Definitely. Any other questions for a few more questions? Yes, no? Thoughts?
I know you kind of just answered it, but maybe how do you, I know that the job that you're in can definitely be at times, like, discouraging, or the jobs that you have worked could at times be discouraging. How do you best overcome that feeling of discouragement, and how have you done that in the past?
Great question. What I will say is, my whole life is not about the work. I never make my whole life about my job per se, because people will disappoint you, and that's just part of life. I have a big life outside of work that I also I'm intentional about. As intentional as I am at work, I'm as equally intentional in my personal life to make sure, like, this fills me up. Like, you know, I'm not getting paid to be here. It's like going to read to the kids fills me up. Volunteering at, Feeding South Florida fills me up. So I find those things too.
Okay.
I didn't even see that dog is so quiet. I just saw the dog. I was like, where was that dog all this time? What's your dog's name?
Mia.
Mia?
She's super quiet.
No, that's why she can come to class.
Yeah, she's on our roster, so.
Yeah.
Is she?
No,
Oh, I was like, wait a minute, because things have changed.
She's getting the degree too.
Okay. You got that, Mia? You got your life together now?
Mia.
Can I tell you, my boss's name is Mia.
Awesome. So before we go, we do a short video,
Okay,
and then I think let's do that now.
okay. You guys love videos in this class. A lot of videos.
But again, round of applause.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.